Hi, my name is Victoria Rinker, and I wanted to introduce my book for my book talk, which is Thank You, Mr. Falker. It is a wonderful book. I grew up with it. It is actually a memoir of Patricia Polacco and her growing up with dyslexia. I found a very deep connection to this book growing up, understanding the difficulties, the struggle of being bullied, being called stupid because of dyslexia. Um, and I just, but also still having that love for reading, even when you struggle. Um, let's see. Uh, that's my main reason for choosing this book. Here's a couple quotes that I wanted to pull out though, that have always stuck with me. And when I was personally struggling so much, and I was in this like pit with dyslexia, um, I would remember these quotes. Uh, and I've never forgotten some of the first page in this book. Uh, and it says, this is her grandpa, by the way. He has this book here, and he pours honey on it, and he hands the book to her, and he says, "Taste." And she dipped her finger into the honey and put it to her mouth. And he says, "What is that taste?" The little girl answered, "It's sweet." Then all of the family said in a single voice, "Yes, and so is knowledge. But knowledge is like that, but knowledge is like the bee that made the sweet honey, and you have to chase it through the pages of a book." And the little girl knew that the promise to read was at last hers, and soon she was going to learn to read. And everybody in the family, that was like their introduction to reading. That's like what she did in kindergarten. And here she is, struggling, learning how to read when she first gets into school. And she's talking about how she's the one just stuck on the same book that they got introduced to at the beginning of the year. Here's her getting bullied. Those kids are really mean. It says here the cat ran. She was reading like a baby in third grade. Oh, and here is Mr. Falker. He was the teacher that pushed her and helped her grow as a student. And he knew that she had dyslexia, and he helped her um, grow that love for reading. And he knew that she was more than her disability. Here he is showing off some of her art. Here's another picture of her getting bullied. Here's her hiding away at recess because she's getting bullied. She's just so tired of being picked on. And here she is at the end, and she holds the book, honey and all, close to her chest. She could feel the tears rolling down her cheeks, but they weren't tears of sadness. She was so happy, very happy, because she's finally able to really read. I mean, it's just such an amazing book. And then here she is at the end, thanking Mr. Falker. Um, Wonderful, wonderful book. Highly recommend. I plan on using this if I ever have a dyslexia student. I honestly would just use it as a normal book in my classroom, not only to teach students not to pick on other students, um, but just to inform my other students that, sure, there's students who may be struggling to read, and you may be able to get through it very, very easily, but it is okay, and it is totally normal to have that struggle of reading. And I just personally, me as a student growing up with dyslexia, this book made all the impact on me, and I hope that it would hopefully find an impact on those students who may also be struggling with the same thing as well. So, highly recommend. Thank you, Mr. Falker. Patricia, Patricia Polacco. Wonderful.